Hello everyone, I'm the Weather Dude. Welcome back, and today is a very interesting video. We're giving our third update on the potentially dangerous snow and even ice storm for many as well. So let's get into the video. Stay tuned for the whole video and enjoy. Before we get started with the video though, if you guys have not already, please consider subscribing. It really does help my channel grow. I want to thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers. We've flown past, and hopefully we can hit our next goal of 3,000 subscribers soon. And also, to help this video reach more people, please consider liking and sharing it as well. And let's get into the video now. So yes, we are talking about widespread snow, ice, sleet, rain, you name it. Hundreds of millions of people will be affected by this basically cross-country storm that's in California right now. Matter of fact, California is getting some much-needed rain, and this will spread, as well as mountain snow, this will spread into the Rockies as we head through the next few hours. And tonight into tomorrow, it's in the Midwest. All right, so again, as always, we're going to start off with our oscillations because they definitely do tell the tale pretty much, right? They explain why we are having this kind of stormy pattern. All right, so here is the PNA, our Pacific North American oscillation, and as you can see, heading definitely into the positives. Like I said, it's been staying positive. Even look at end of November and through beginning of December, you see the same thing as well. So PNA has been staying positive, and this promotes, again, cold air coming into the central and east, just for you guys who haven't seen the latest. So here we are at the NAO. Now the NAO has been hovering around the zero line more so, but it is definitely forecast to go down even further, and it's on a downward trend. But even more interesting, if you look at the Arctic oscillation here, yeah, I mean, it's taken a nosedive, all right, and it's going to go down lower than that. I mean, we're talking about potentially getting down to as low as -4, -5 even, and you really haven't seen it that low since August. Well, it really doesn't get low normally in August. All right, we look at this. I mean, September we had a little dip, October, it's overall been positive through October and November, and now it's taking a huge plunge through end of November into December, and this really puts the Arctic air in the United States, and as you can see, that oscillation also does agree. So we are now going to get into the models. I'm sure that's what you guys have all been waiting for, and we're going to do our three models, our GFS, Canadian, and European, and of course, our mystery model at the towards the end. So we're starting off with the GFS. Now, how this is going to shape up, because I'm pretty sure most models are going to depict it like this. If you watched my video, my second update on this about a day or two ago, you did notice some of the models starting to pick up on this, and that's the way it looks like it's going to be now. So the way it's going to be is the storm is going to come in the coast of California, right? This one you see here, and it's going to move across, right? Bring some pretty steady to heavy snow. I would say fairly heavy snow. It looks like, according to the GFS, some magentas popping up for Iowa, which is like whiteout condition kind of snow. All right, and there's a little bit of ice where those conditions do overlap, and of course you got some rain in the warmer air to the south. But this one remains generally weak. It still will strengthen as it heads north and kind of develop a tail front with it. But then we see a low form in Mexico, and yes, snow will be breaking out in western Texas. All right, and there could be a lot of it even in Texas. So then we have a low that comes from the south, and this is going to be a very major ice storm. Even snowstorm for many as well. Even people, even places in the Northeast. I'm not going to say the Mid-Atlantic yet, but definitely Western Pennsylvania, Central Pennsylvania, the entire state of Pennsylvania, as you can see, especially Central and East, is pretty much I don't want to know how to say it, engulfed in ice at this point. All right, we have widespread magentas here and dark magentas at that. Or I shouldn't even say magentas, just pinks. All right, and then we have our low, our very strong low, moving up from south to north here. This is going to be like a 1-2 punch, so to speak. This is punch number 2. And as it moves north into the more colder air, it will be transferring into snow, or that ice, I should say, transfers into snow. So the ice will be more so for areas down here, and then the snow will be like for far northern areas that happen to be really cold enough. All right, so that's how it's going to look. This 1-2 punch of a storm system here, and most of us in the east that see snow will probably go over to rain. Now, precipitable water, I did show you guys this in my last one, and it's very important that I still show it now. So, again, you can see in those areas with a lot of moisture, that's where the rain and even some severe weather could break out. Again, like I said, I mean, even someone in the comments not too long ago also did agree. This is going to be like a Winter Storm Herald twin, pretty much. Or at least the first set. Both systems could be a twin of Winter Storm Herald. We could have two twins, two clones of this. But these two systems will be a little bit different. The second one, of course, being probably stronger, I would say. And here is the snowfall forecast with the GFS model. Now, all the models, I gotta be surprised. I won't spoil it, okay? I'll save it till later. But spotty areas in Texas, over a foot of snow actually in the red. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I feel like it might not. But 6 to 12 is certainly possible in western Texas. But also to the north, you can really see the 6 to 12, primarily from the first system. All right, the second system will be like all ice. All right, but central eastern Iowa, you can see 12, 16, 14 inches. And the ice we're not quite so sure about yet, so probably be talking about that in the next video. So definitely stay tuned for the next update when we talk about this system, so we can take a look at the ice threat more in depth. I mean, we're still going to talk about it, of course. All right, but we're not quite certain on the ice where and when it could. Where it could line up. So we're going to move on to the next model now. So that was the GFS. Here is the Canadian model. So we have that little clipper system that I told you guys about. That is officially pulling away now. All right, it moves through the Northeast today. Really not bringing much. Some lake effect snow maybe. All right, and here comes the first system. Now overall, light to moderate snow. Definitely going to be some heavy snow in spots. You got some sleet. We got freezing rain, even some rain. So this has all the precip too. All right, so this storm then moves into Canada, kind of strengthens a little bit, develops a tail front with it, all right? And then here comes our storm coming in from Mexico, as you can see right here. There is a snow starting to break out already in Texas, all right? Then it moves north, but just look at the massive areas that the widespread ice that we're going to see. I can't really form my words at this point. All right, we got widespread heavy ice, just the amount of people that could be impacted by such, not only ice, but just heavy ice. Right, like heavy freezing rain. As you can see in these darker pink colors, all right? We're seeing like many places could see a medium chance of more than a quarter of inch of ice. The only good thing I can see out of this is that most areas that do get ice may either warm up or even go over to rain at some point, but still, that doesn't mean that the ice won't be dangerous while it's still around. All right, and it may take a little bit for that ice to melt. All right, and then there's a low moving through the Northeast. So that's like part two. All right, part one, of course, kind of comes in through Tuesday afternoon. All right, then Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, it's through the Great Lakes. Then part two comes up on New Year's Day. I mean, it's gonna be a pretty hectic day on New Year's. All right, and then the second storm will probably be out of here by time wake up on Sunday. Saturday, you will still have to deal with this thing as well. Saturday, the storm will still be around, and so that's kind of like your timing. So here's the precipitable water with this model, or with the Canadian model, and I'm actually. So let's go back to, I'm curious to see what the precipitable water is at hour 102. So this is 2 p.m. on Christmas Eve. And you can kind of see as I flip back and forth here, there was definitely a lot of precipitable water, and even actually some more through eastern Ohio and West Virginia. So expect some heavier precipitation there, of course, with those more intense precipitable water values. And then there you go. So this, and there will also be sleet out of this. Keep that in mind. Sleet is also, I would say it's as dangerous as freezing. I say freezing rain is the number one most dangerous. Sleet is still very dangerous, of course. Snow, especially if it's only an inch, 2 or 3 inches of snow, is also very dangerous on the roadways. Any type of even rain is dangerous. Like in the fall, rain is dangerous, especially with leaves on the ground. So you just always got to be careful, but really, really be careful for freezing rain. Now, Canadian model actually does lighten on the snowfall totals a bit. You do see widespread 1 to 4 inches with your 6 to 10, kind of like through southern Nebraska, eastern Iowa, just northwest, or maybe even including, but probably northwest of Chicago, western and northern mainland Michigan, and even parts of UP, northern New England 6 to 10 or 6 to 12 with spotty 12 plus. There's a little red dot in Texas, maybe 12 inches there, but also about 6 to 10 for areas of western Texas, which for Texas, I'd say it's a lot. And if you live in Texas, really haven't seen snow, I mean, it's really cool to see. And I kind of hope Texas does get some snow because they don't seem to get it too much. All right, now here is our European model here. And again, as you can see, here is the low moving through. And the European and the GFS both put pretty heavy snow for eastern Iowa, especially points east of Des Moines. So I'd watch out for that. Now, the European model, again, low does strengthen as it heads into Canada, as I've been saying. All right, and then we have to watch our storm as it moves north. Our first storm, I should say. It already starts to form that front with mostly rain, but maybe even some snow or sleet on the back side. And again, in Texas, on the back end of that front, there's your snow and sleet already breaking out. All right, but then it becomes more widespread, some more heavier snow, and then boom, there was a lot of snow, a lot of ice associated with this. I think ice will probably be the number 1 threat from the system. I don't think ice will impact the most people, but I think it's going to be the number 1 most dangerous threat out of the storm. Lots of ice and rain mixed in. All right, and we got some snow even on the wrap around the backside, and then we got severe weather through the southeast. So this storm is going to have it all, guys. We're going to have the rain. Right, just regular old heavy rain for lots of areas in Mid-Atlantic and Tennessee Valley. We're going to have the severe weather in the southeast. We're going to have snow mainly to northern areas. Then we have the sleet and freezing rain right in the middle part of the country, and even parts of the northeast will even see snow. So yes, ice, excuse me. So even far north areas will be seeing ice out of this, not just snow. All right, you're going to have to go to those higher elevations in the northeast if you want to remain all or mostly snow. Now, European model, again, doesn't really have the PWAT, the precipitable water, but we do have the relative humidity. And as you can see, kind of like the way a hurricane works, right? We got the low sitting about here, and most of the moisture is on that northeast quadrant. Kind of like with a hurricane, it's on the northeast quadrant. I just find this storm is kind of set up like that. But there's still going to be a lot of moisture even on the back end of the system. It's going to be very dangerous, widespread snow, ice, severe weather, rain, everything. And as far as snow totals with the European model, I definitely like the European model the best. I just think that their depiction is the most accurate right now, except for Texas. Because they call for a lot of snow in Texas. Not just 12, but they're actually calling for like close to 20 inches for Texas. And I just don't think that's going to happen. Like, as much as I would like it to, and I'm sure there's plenty of people in Texas that would want to see snow, I just don't think that's going to happen. There's a chance you get pretty close to 12, maybe like 5, 8. All right, but I think 12 plus is pushing it as of right now. All right. And a lot of people are asking about central and southern Missouri as well. I had some people asking about that. Probably a few inches, maybe on the northern part of the state, but central Missouri, probably like a dusting to an inch or 2 or 3. Southern Missouri, probably going to be some ice, which we'll go over more in depth in the next one, but not so much snow. You got your 6 to 12 inches basically from Texas and Oklahoma through Kansas, through Iowa, through Wisconsin, Michigan, and then up through Canada, and also 6 to 12 here in the Northeast. So this isn't going to be burying everybody in 2 feet of snow. Okay, we don't need it to do that just to be a major winter storm. The amount of people it's going to affect, hundreds of millions, especially there's going to be some big cities on the I-95 corridor. In the Midwest, we got big cities like Chicago and Oklahoma City could get affected by this, Dallas. All right, even if you don't get the wintry weather, it still counts as getting affected by the storm. And our mystery model, quote-unquote mystery model for today, all right, is the UK MET. I was going to use the NAM model. As we get closer to the storm's arrival, I'll probably use the NAM model. All right, we're not quite there yet. But the UK MET does put actually a more widespread 12 to 18 inches for places like Iowa and Illinois and even parts of Wisconsin. Also spotty 12 inches for western Texas. But still, similar to European, you got that big swath of 6 to 12 inches of snow. And don't forget the ice as well. Do not forget the ice. And as we wrap up here, here is our kind of like your wind gust map, just to show this low deepening. So let's find it here. So there's the low moving through. This is the first low, right? As you can see, we're on the European model here. All right, not looking too much. Like we do see some wind on the backside, 30 on the backside of the storm, maybe 40-mile-an-hour wind gust ahead of it. But it's really that other storm system that merges out of the south that it's going to be a lot stronger, a lot more wind, especially in those mountainous terrain areas. Winds will be probably passing 50 miles an hour. I don't think there's going to be widespread blizzard conditions, but definitely some very gusty winds. We could see some blizzard conditions, all right? It's definitely possible. So definitely stay tuned for more updates, guys. I am the Weather Dude. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.